What is going on, guys? It's your dude shopping. We are in week 2 of our NFL pick'ems for the Sports Geek. If you haven't signed up for the contest, go ahead and sign up now. You can actually just use your phone and use the QR code that's on the screen, or you can go to my Twitter at Shopmaster and look at my pinned tweet. There's a link there, and there's also a link in the description below. But if you join, you have access. If you're good enough, if you make the right picks, you'll be eligible to win some cool prizes, including a trip for 2 to NFL game, as well as some Amazon gift cards and MacBook Pros. But all that information is on the website. Go ahead and click the link in the description below. So let's get on with week 2 of Beat the Geek. Week 1, okay, look, it's the first week. A lot of people do bad on the first week. We get to see these teams and we can adjust. So the first game we're going to take a look at is the Raiders at Baltimore. And I'm just going to say this. Look, the Raiders suffered a lot of injuries, especially on their front line. They lost Malcolm Kuntz. They also lost Tyree Wilson, who was last year's number 7th pick overall. So really, Baltimore only has to block Max Crosby. Now, I know Max Crosby is a beast, and it is an 8.5 spread, but it was 9.5 earlier in this week. I'm gonna take Baltimore coming off a good game against the Kansas City Chiefs, who I think are the best team in the league, and I think Baltimore Ravens with that game that they had would have beat any other team except for the Chiefs. I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens minus the 8.5. All right, next we have the Los Angeles Chargers at the Carolina Panthers. The Chargers minus 5.5. Again, they were -6 earlier in the week. The Chargers, I just think I feel like, look, I'm a Michigan fan, so I love Coach Harbaugh. I think he's got this team right where he wants them, making them more of a running, more balanced team. And I think they're going to overwhelm the Panthers. Bryce Young still looks like a bust. He did not play well last week. The Panthers as a whole did not look good. So give me the Chargers minus the 5.5. All right, now we got Dallas and New Orleans. New Orleans is traveling to Dallas. Dallas is minus 6.5. This one's a little bit tough one because of course, I'm a Commanders fan. I do not like the Dallas Cowboys, but we are not going with our heart on this. We're going to take the Dallas Cowboys minus the 6.5. Yes, I know the Saints put up 47 points in week 1, but that was at home against the team we just talked about, the Carolina Panthers. So I am going to take the Cowboys. I think Dak got his deal. CD got his deal. They just don't lose in the regular season. You can say what you want about them in the postseason. In the regular season, they take care of business, and I think they're going to take care of business right here. Give me Dallas minus 6.5. All right, Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Detroit Lions. This is going to be a good game. Tampa Bay played a very poor team in the Washington Commanders last week. They made Baker look like he was all pro. I just do not believe Tampa is that team. They're going to a Detroit team who handled their business against a good Rams team. I think minus 6.5 is a little disrespectful. And I know Tampa Bay was a playoff team last year, but again, they went against probably the worst secondary in the league in the Washington Commanders, and Baker did what he was supposed to do, 4 touchdowns, almost 300 yards. But I think this defense is a lot better, and I think this offense is a lot better. And so I'm looking for the Detroit Lions to win at home minus 6.5. All right, we got the Colts and the Packers. Packers plus 2.5. They were plus 3, I want to say, and a half like Monday. But they're plus 2.5 right now. Look, Anthony Richardson is a beast. And for real, I feel like this is really close. Jordan Love is not going to play though. So to me, I'm leaning towards The Colts, I don't even know who the Green Bay Packers QB is. I think they're gonna go to Malik Willis. And to me, even though they're gonna be at home, I'm taking the Colts minus 2.5. I think they're just gonna miss Love too much. I do like the coach, LaFleur. I think he will do a good job. And I may change this pick, but for right now, I'm taking the Colts minus 2.5. This one's a tough one. This one's a tough one for sure. All right, we got the Browns at Jacksonville. Jacksonville at home minus 2.5. Um, Deshaun Watson looks like trash. I mean, looks like some straight garbage. But I do like the Browns defense. And I know you're saying, oh, well, they just lost to Cowboys. Cowboys only put up, what, 17 points last week? Like, Browns defense played good. Jaguars, they gave one to Miami last week. And I feel like this is another game that you can take either one. And usually I go with the home team on this, but I'm going to go with the away team. I'm going to go with the better defense on this one. They're going to be playing in nice weather in Jacksonville. Give me Cleveland plus 2.5. Watson he has to be better. Like, he cannot be any worse. And I know stats aren't everything, but forget the pass drops. He looked bad. But I'm gonna take Cleveland plus 2.5. Okay, we got them 49er boys at the Minnesota Vikings. 49ers looked great last week. And their spread is only 5.5. They showed us that even without McCaffrey, that they can still get the job done. Mason was a monster. I don't think McCaffrey plays this week either, especially seeing how well Mason played. Me, the minus 5.5. Like, okay, Sam Darnold has some good moments, but yo, give me San Francisco on the road minus 5.5, taking care of business in Minnesota. Right, we got. I only laugh because last week I said New England is probably the worst team in the league, and they actually won last week. Seattle goes to New England. This is them going to the East Coast. I know a lot of people just don't like when West teams go to the East Coast, but defense travels. The new coach, Mike McDonald, has these guys humming. And so I feel like I can lay the field goal and a half. I mean, look, Cincinnati always starts out bad. I don't think Cincinnati under Joe Burrow has won the first game since he's been there. England ran for over 170 yards against Cincinnati. I don't think they can do that against the Seattle defense, and they're going to make Kobe Brissett throw the ball. And I don't think that's what Mayo wants. I think they're going to try to establish the run, but they're not going to be able to do it. So I'm taking another road team minus 3.5 for Seattle. We got the New York Jets against the Tennessee Titans. Teams are 0-1, and I just have high hopes for the Jets. I think just because they have Aaron Rodgers, I feel like they should be better, and they should win 10 games, right? They should win 10 games. That said, defense looked really lacking against that run game of San Francisco without McCaffrey. Without McCaffrey, they still racked up a lot of yards on the ground. Now, I do believe in this Jets defense, especially their secondary, but it seems like up front, unless those I forgot what his name who hasn't signed yet for the Jets gets in there, I feel like teams are gonna still try to run on them. So I'm taking the underdog in this. I'm taking Tennessee plus the 4.5 at home. Plus the 4.5 at home. Jets offense struggled. Um, it had some drops and did look good, but I think the Tennessee Titans, I don't, you know what? What am I talking about? What am I talking about? We going Jets. Like, come on. Will Levis looked horrible. He made some terrible decisions. He's going to continue to make terrible decisions. I'm sorry. Maybe we should just rewind this back. I'm picking the Jets. Like, I said they were going to win at least 10 or 11 games. They cannot lose to the Titans if they want to win 10 or 11 games. So I'm sorry. My bad. My bad. Let's go with the Jets -4.5. This was a tough one for me because, as you know, I'm a Washington Commanders fan. And we have not beaten the Giants in the last 2 years. I think they have swept us the last 2 years. I just feel like this is the time. This is the time. We're at home. We got our rookie quarterback, who I will say pretty composed last week. Didn't have any kind of errors. Yes, he missed some throws, especially that deep one to Terry that he was wide open. But he didn't throw any interceptions. He didn't panic. He looked calm in the pocket. He ran when he needed to. He ran a lot, actually. Need him to learn how to slide. But Washington at home -2.5 does not sound like a stretch at all, even though we have not beaten the Giants. I just do not trust. I just don't trust the Giants and Daniel Jones. I trust Jaden Daniels. I trust the rookie and Dan Quinn more than I trust the Giants in anything that they got. So give me my Washington Commanders -2.5 at the home opener. I'm gonna be away, unfortunately, but they'll pull out a win for me. I'm confident. Yeah, mark it down. We got the Rams and the Cardinals. Rams looked really tough against Detroit last week. I like the Rams. Like, I like them a lot. Like, I know it's a blow to uh Nakua. I just think he's definitely gonna miss a few weeks. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Like, Cardinals were up against the Bills and then they just blew that halftime lead and eventually lost 34-28. I just feel like this is what they do. This is what they do. And I think Sean McVay and that offense was really humming last week. Even though they lost against a good Detroit team, give me the Rams -2.5. The Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs. You can call it Burrowland or whatever you want. You're just not going to call it a win this week. I do think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win, but the question is, will they win by more than 5.5? Like, that's what you got to understand about like these spreads. Like, you're not picking the winner. You're picking the team that's going to exceed the spread. And so I love Kansas City to win. Bro and them were moving the ball. They just had way too many turnovers. Oh man, Vegas be knowing though. Vegas be knowing. What? We gonna go with KC -5.5. Just because they're at home. I think they want to get their revenge against Cincinnati because people been talking sideways out their mouth about Cincinnati and Joe Burrow. Let's go into it. Pittsburgh Steelers at Denver Broncos. Mike Tomlin just don't lose, man. It don't matter who he got back there. I don't think Russell Wilson plays. Justin Fields is going to start again. Justin Fields looked pretty good. The offensive play calling, I will say, was a lot better than it had been. So just again, Denver is 0-1. Pittsburgh did play like I love Pittsburgh's defense. I think I'm gonna pick the upset here. I think Pittsburgh might win, but I think it might be by just an extra point. They'll be playing their Pittsburgh will be playing their second consecutive road game. High altitude. Can you bet against Mike Tomlin? No, no, you can't. But I am going. I'm going to bet against him. Give me Denver plus 2.5. Chicago Bears at Houston Texans. Chicago Bears just escaped with a win last week. Caleb Williams did not look good. Out of all the rookies, Jaden Daniels definitely looked the best. Caleb just looked like he was overwhelmed, looked like the game was moving too fast for him. He just looked lost out there at times. While on the other hand, CJ Stroud was awesome last week. He made all the right throws when he needed it. Third and 11, just put it right where only his receiver can get it to ice that game. I love me some CJ Stroud. With that said, I think they're going to be amped. They're going to be at home, -6.5. Again, I think Nico Ryan's going to have something for Caleb, and yeah, I just think Houston Texans minus the 6.5. Give me Houston -6.5. All right. In the last game, we got Atlanta at Philly. It was a bad outing for Kirk Cousins. Not gonna lie, I expect Atlanta Falcons to definitely do better this year. I don't expect to see Penix anytime soon, even though Cousins is struggling. It's just one game, right? It's just one game. On the other hand, Philly looked good. Saquon looked good. Jalen Hurts actually did not look good. Jalen Hurts looked bad at times. If it wasn't for Saquon, Philly wouldn't even have been in that game. But Saquon is the truth. Atlanta, this might be a good bounce back for Atlanta. I'm going with the bounce back. I'm going with the bounce back. And I know what you're saying is Kirk Cousins. He's going to be in prime time Monday night, 8:15. Can't bounce back and beat the Eagles at home. No, he doesn't have to beat the Eagles. Just needs to keep them close. And I think that's what he'll do. So give me Atlanta plus 5.5. Teams complete both passes. Oh, we're going to say we always pick like maybe 5 for this. All right, those are my picks for week 2 of the NFL season. Make sure, again, that you go ahead and join the Beat the Geek contest. You can click the link in the description below, or you can scan the QR code. But these NFL Week 2 picks are sponsored by the Sports Geek. I appreciate y'all watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see y'all next week for week 3. We're going to get a lot of wins this week. I know it. I'll be careful. Be good. Peace.